what's up?
What is up?
We're talking about the Pixel 10 Pro.
Yep,
Well-
Google's okay Pro phone from this year.
Okay.
Okay, I stand by that.
It's a pretty solid. I like the 10 Pro. But for the sake of this video, you should know that we're talking about the 10 Pro XL. That's the unit that we have.
Yeah, there's not a lot of differences, but I think we should clarify. I think
Yeah,
a good
it's
idea.
basically just between 10 Pro and XL is display size, battery size. Everything else is going to be exactly the same.
Mhm.
But really, really good phone. And I think what might be one of the best colors of the year. Jade?
I do agree with that. I can't deny it.
Better than any of the Pro iPhones?
I think it's better than any of the Pro iPhones.
Ah, there you go. We
Yeah.
have a good phone on our hands, people. Let's get
The
it.
color makes it. Now, jokes aside, the color is, in my opinion, one of the best color combos that I've seen on a smartphone in a really long time. I really
think-
like what
I think when Google announced the 10 Pro and the 10,
right.
he immediately texted me and was like, Jade is the go-to color.
It is.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're holding something that's like super premium, right? I think even in person, the color that you see on pictures doesn't do justice because it's more subtle, more elegant, in my opinion. Now, the design compared to the 10 Pro and the 10 Pro XL has not changed.
Identical.
It is virtually the same phone on the outside.
If you don't see them in the new color, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
So you still have your shiny enclosure, which is honestly really nice, but it is aluminum. So for those that are hating a certain company that switched to aluminum for their Pro phones, this one is also aluminum.
Switched back. These guys.
That's fine.
Okay, there it is.
But it is aluminum, a polished, really nice, shiny aluminum on the enclosure with a matte glass on the back with the visor at the top. It just sounds like we're repeating the same description of a certain phone that also came out from a different
But the
company.
pixels look so good, don't they?
They do look
The
very
pixels
nice.
look so
They
good.
do look very,
look so
very
good.
nice. And honestly, I don't think I blame them for not changing the design. It does work. I think there's something about the balance of how this phone is. It's just designed overall
It just
versus
looks
the contrast on the materials, the contrast in the colors, and just where the camera visor plays with the logo. It just looks very well done.
Yeah.
And because of the design didn't change. The size of the phones didn't change either. We're
Yep.
still looking at the same 6.3 for the Pro and 6.8-inch display for the Pro XL.
Yeah. But a couple of things did change a little bit.
Right, that is
Ish.
true.
So let's talk displays.
Yes.
Size wise, they're the same year over year. But brightness wise, we got an improvement. So in high brightness mode, and it doesn't matter whether you have the 10 Pro or the 10 Pro XL, 200 nits brighter in high brightness mode,
Yep.
2000 to 2200.
Yes.
And then whenever it comes to peak max brightness, 300 nits brighter.
Right.
3000 to 3300. They were already impressive
I
last
was
year.
going to say, it doesn't seem like that big of a jump, but that's because they were so good already.
Yeah, they were already impressive last year. They're going to be even better this year in like environments where you're outside in direct sunlight.
Right.
So that's going to be really great. And then we did get, it's hardly a battery bump, but it is a battery bump nonetheless.
Technically.
Yeah, the XL got the smallest bump out of the two. 5,200 is on the 10 Pro XL, up from 5,060.
Yep.
So about 140, the standard. So it's like 140 milliamp hours larger on the XL.
Right.
Right. The 10 Pro goes from 4,700
Mm-hmm.
to 4,870.
Yeah.
So 170 milliamp hours.
Yeah. It is a jump, but
I think you get those slightly increased numbers because, and I actually don't like these about the Pixel lineup this year, is that they're eSIM.
right.
I don't like that.
I think it's,
Apple went eSIM a long time ago. I was not a fan of that. I'm still not a fan of that.
yeah.
But I guess when I think about it, I think it works for the vast majority of people who are just going to have this phone for like a long time and they're not going to do anything else.
If you don't plan on swapping and changing and transferring phone numbers, then
That's
yes.
kind of our job.
I was gonna say for us it's very
Yeah.
tedious and super annoying.
Yeah, so that makes it a little bit more of a pain. Oddly enough, the one phone in the lineup that still retains the physical SIM slot is the Fold.
I was gonna say, is it the Fold?
It's
Yeah,
the Fold.
yeah.
So the regular 10 and the 10 Pros, eSIM only here in the US. The Fold still has a SIM card slot.
Fun fact. But
Shame on
ultimately-
you, Google.
Yeah, I was gonna say ultimately the design is really good. Didn't change, but this jade color, 10 plus.
Yeah, and I guess the upgrades that you did get, like battery and display brightness,
Mm-hmm.
they're nice upgrades to have.
They're okay.
So we touched on Tensor G5 in our Pixel 10 review. right?
We did.
Tensor G5 is Google wants their chip to be more so focused on driving the AI features for the Pixel 10 series,
Yep.
right? It is not a chip that is going to blow you away in terms of performance. In fact, if you were to benchmark it, it actually benchmarks like a mid-range SoC.
Just crazy.
Yeah, given that it's built by TSMC on a 3 nanometer process,
The numbers are there.
there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of just raw horsepower, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not what Tensor is here to be. Right. In the day-to-day use, Tensor G5 performs just fine. I've had no issues with performance on the 10 Pro, and that's with all of the max settings turned on, like display resolution, brightness mode, like anything and everything that you could possibly turn on. I've had no issues performance-wise.
And I think it's just Google's really good work on optimizing their software and making sure that they're the ones preparing now the internal chip system, making it themselves with the way that they design and build their UI and software into this phone. Now, one of the big aspects of them using this Tensor G5 chip, it's because, like Arian said, they're focusing so much on AI features. And we did talk about this on our 10 Pro or our Pixel 10 review.
Yep.
But there's going to be so many features that are now AI driven onto your phone that you do need something that's designed specifically for those results. Now, the biggest one that we talked about in the last video was Magic Q, which
it works when it works.
Oh, yeah. And if you care about privacy, maybe this is not for you.
Yeah.
Because it basically just goes through all your data to give you what you need in the moment. And on paper, it's cool. It kind of feels like a Jarvis, but at the same time, it's Google, one of the most privacy breaking companies out there. So if you're okay with sharing all your data, your text messages and pictures and emails and calendars and reminders, then this feature, once it works, might be great for you because it will give you an assistant that actually does a lot.
Yeah, it's a feature that is trying to give you information that it thinks you need before you even think you need it.
That's crazy to even say out loud. But even features, the thing about AI is that it's not even fully ready. I mean, we knew that the features that are there are not 100% fully functional. Gemini is great, but some of the features that Gemini does are not great yet. They are great on paper, but they're not ready. Even things like Ask Photos. Like Ask Photos is such a cool concept of just typing in a prompt into your pictures.
Still not here.
And it's still not here. We had it. And it disappeared.
It's gone.
And we're doing everything that Google's telling us to do to get the feature back, and it's not showing up on our phones.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that it will get better over time. But right now, AI, even though it's such a heavy focus on phones in general, it's not 100% there yet, even with this phone.
Yeah, and even with that though, I still would say if you are someone who absolutely wants to have an Android flagship phone and you want to have like the purest, cleanest version of Android, I still think Google Pixel is the way to go.
I agree.
Everything about the Pixel experience that makes it so great for like Android purists is here.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it works. Now, when it comes to the cameras, the throne that Google held for so many years, it's probably not the case anymore. It's sad to say that Google is no longer the top when it comes to their camera system on their smartphones when they did hold it for multiple years.
When the Pixels came out, they were like the champion of like...
It blew every other phone out of the water. Yeah. And it's not to say that the other phones didn't do well. It's just Google was able to optimize the software and the hardware so well that the pictures were just almost perfect instantly. But with this phone, we're looking at the same camera system as last year, at least virtually the same. We're looking at a 50 megapixel wide, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto with a 5x optical zoom. The numbers are the same, but what's new, it's the software that runs it. A lot of image optimization, a lot of digital zoom features up to 100 times, which I don't know, unless you're one of those people that creeps on other people.
Yeah.
Why would you need 100 times? I don't know. And if anything, you take the picture and then use the software to enhance it. So it's not like the 100 times it's good right off the bat. You still need the software to make it better. But we did test it. We checked and seen all the different scenarios. Macro's great. Zoom, it's honestly, unless you're trying to take pictures of aliens, I don't understand why
Yeah.
the 100 times zoom might be usable.
That spider in your backyard looked like an alien,
I
though.
had this spider that's like 6 inches long. I named him Fred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, he didn't want to get close, but that 100 times zoom
That
came
100 times
handy.
zoom came in
Very
handy.
handy.
Yeah.
Um,
AI enhanced freakish looking spider.
Yeah.
That's apparently a common garden spider, but that's
it is. It's my friend.
Yeah.
Point being, the features are there, and the camera system is really solid. Don't get me wrong; it's a very solid camera system. But at the end of the day, it didn't jump when it comes to last year in the sense that you would normally expect on a phone upgrade, especially on the Pro line of a phone lineup. Um, Another thing too, video boost is not a new feature. It was last year's feature that upscales and enhances and optimizes and stabilizes video on Google's cloud storage system.
Still takes a really long time.
We tried it.
Yeah. I just took a 25-second video, maybe, when did we start filming? 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, I feel like it's been longer.
I took a 25-second video in 1080p, about, let's say, 30 to 40 minutes prior to us starting this. It's still processing, like it's still doing the video boost.
You know what? Unless you're okay with waiting years for your videos to be ready, maybe this is at least a video boost feature is not for you.
Yeah, just a PSA. If you're someone who is going to take a 4K video, because you can do that natively on the Pixel.
Right.
If you're going to take a 4K video and it's going to be 30, 45 seconds, I mean, you could be waiting well over a few hours.
At least.
For video boost.
Yeah, I think it's going to be even longer.
And if you want to record in 8K, video boost has to be on, by the way.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
It's going to take a second.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when it comes to the pictures are great, and that's
they are
because
really good.
Google does take really good pictures, and the image optimization is good. Google is able to compress the image and give you really sharp results, but I think it's interesting. Even you noticed.
Yeah, and I'm not the type of person that I'm like pro in the camera department.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't geek out on cameras like that. I just want a system that is going to be really high quality. I can point and shoot and take photos. But I noticed the colors are a little bland. Like they're muted.
Like muted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I take a lot of photos of my dogs. I know what my dogs look like. They don't look that washed out in real life. And even I think the biggest example when I first started noticing it, I just took a portrait photo of a Sprite can just to see how well it was going to keep the image in focus. And the Sprite cans are super vibrant.
They are. They're reflective and vibrant. Yeah.
Right. It was washed out in the photo. And obviously we're going to show you as well so you can take a look. But these are unedited photos. These are just point and shoot. Unedited, because that's how we like to test the camera system.
Right. Now, lo and behold, you put that picture and you put it through the image processing and enhance it. Of course, it's going to look vibrant.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to look more to what you see in person. But it's interesting how in just the raw picture, it doesn't look like what you're looking at in person. So that's something to know.
Yeah. So that just about does it on the Pixel 10 Pro line.
Okay.
What else are we missing? Just like a few like
when it comes to charging and things
like fun things to mention. So Pixel Snap is amazing. Yes. If you missed our Pixel 10 review, Pixel Snap is essentially MagSafe for the Pixel, but it's based on the Qi 2 wireless charging standard. So theoretically speaking, we could see other Android OEMs adopt it as well.
I hope so.
Just not going to be called Pixel Snap. We even made the joke last time that there's going to be 10,000 different naming
and they're all going to be the same.
They're all going to be the same exact thing. It's going to be ridiculous, but it's here. It's also worth noting that if you're a fan of wireless power share, that's now gone because Pixel Snap is here. I think it's a worthwhile trade-off.
I'm okay with that sacrifice.
Yeah, because you can still do wired power transfer if it's super important. Yeah,
I agree.
If it's super important, you can still do the wired power transfer. What else? IP68 water and dust. That goes without saying.
Charging speeds.
Yeah. So Pixel 10 Pro XL, especially battery life, amazing.
Right.
I was getting like close to 5 hours of screen on time with like 55% battery left. That's with, again, like always on display, brightness always set to super high, maximum display resolution. I even went into the developer options and I forced 120 hertz like at all times.
Yeah.
All the time. So it's absolutely fantastic when it comes to battery life. The 10 Pro XL specifically has the fastest charging speeds out of any Pixel 10 in the whole lineup. 45 watt wired. as long as you have the right hardware. It goes something from like 0 to 70% in like 30 minutes. Like
pretty good.
it's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, it's a really well-rounded phone.
Yep.
That even though we made the joke in the beginning of the video that it's an okay phone, it doesn't mean that it's a bad phone. It just feels okay because of the jump from last year's 9 Pro and 9 Pro XL.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that changed, especially when it comes to the specs on the hardware side. But it's like what worked just got better. And they polished a lot of the things that were okay with last generation.
Yep.
That this one just feels more solid and more well-rounded.
Yep. It's a refinement on last year's Pixel 9 Pro.
Exactly. Like even when it comes to the pricing, we're looking at $999 for the Pro, and that starts at $128, and $1199 for the Pro XL that starts at $256. Now
Yes.
the options vary depending on the color. You do have what's the naming scheme? Like what fancy names do they have this year?
Obsidian, which is
the black.
Porcelain,
like a cream,
which is and then there's Jade right there.
the best one.
That kind of looks like I kind of give it a key lime pie kind of vibe
With a little gold accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Moonstone, which if you're excited for the Fold review, make sure you subscribe because the Fold is coming in Moonstone.
You do have that in Moonstone.
Yeah.
But they are very solid. I think ultimately it just depends on where you come from. And most of the reviews that we do end up in the same question because we cannot, in good judgment, say that you should get this phone regardless of where you're at because it really depends on where you currently stand.
Yep.
If you have a 9 Pro, I probably would be very hesitant to say that you should upgrade just because of the minor changes that happen to this phone.
That would be tough.
But if you're coming from an 8 Pro, maybe a different phone like a OnePlus 14, or maybe you have a Samsung Galaxy S24.
The OnePlus 14 exists. I think it's the 13. 14 is like a bad omen.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Now you know. But the 15 is coming as well, so get ready for that
looks
one. I'm
nice.
really excited.
The OnePlus 15 looks so nice, man.
So stay tuned. Let us know what you think of this phone. Drop it in the comments and just be ready for the next stuff that's coming up because we do have so much coming up.
And I will say it's never been, I think, more challenging to figure out which phone you want from the Pixel lineup because Pixel 10 Pro starts at $999.
Right.
Pixel 10 starts at $799.
I think the pricing for the 10 was not great.
The Pixel 10 it gives you a lot though.
It does, but if you compare it to even an iPhone, where usually they're the ones that price a little above the average.
Apple did well with the 17s this year.
Yeah,
Apple did well with the 17s.
cheaper.
Yeah, which we're gonna be getting around to talking about. But I think with the Pixel lineup this year, the Pixel 10 lineup, the big proposition was: is it worth the extra, like what, $200?
Yeah.
Couple $100 to jump from the 10 to the 10 Pro? And I think this year that decision specifically is a lot harder.
Mm-hmm. But very similar.
If you're someone who cares for all of the extras that the Pro lineup of Pixels is going to give you, then sure, pay the extra. It's a fantastic phone regardless, but
yes.
It seems like 2025 is like the year for like the entry-level smartphones because they're getting really good.
All of them have been great so far.
Yeah,
so
and we have a ton of extra content coming.
Please sub if you haven't.
Yep.
Drop a like, drop a comment.
We passed 50,000, by the way.
That's because of you. So
thank you so much. Next goal, 100,000. So if you haven't subscribed,
we take over the world. So stay tuned for that one.
I was not aware of that plan.
It was on the memo, dude.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Till the next one.
Thanks so much for watching. Peace. Okay, so we touched on Tensor G5.
Hold up. I was closing my bottle. All right, we can go.
Okay.